Roll like me, roll. Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me? Big fun, don't you? Big fun, don't you, baby? Don't you, baby? Henry, what's all that noise in the back? Maybe it's feedback? Yeah. Yeah. I'ma keep doing what I do best. That's right. Should I keep talking?
Keep talking.
Keep talking, keep rocking, keep knocking them boots down, bitch. You know what it is, get on. Do next, get flipped on the side of a slide. What you wanna do, ride, baby?
Hello? Okay, I think it was just too loud here.
But it echoes.
Not the echo's fine. It's 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 not the because it's gonna it's just listening to this back and forth, time and time again. Okay, let me go ahead and do it. All right, you can keep talking. You can keep talking.
Alrighty, what's the first thing?
Oh, first thing is let's go. Let's go back to.
Moment of silence for Colby.
Oh,
Thank you.
mhm. We can go. We can start with the last movie we watched in theaters, which would be Talk to Me, and then we can go back from the other one. So,
Alright.
okay.
Y'all, we've been in and out of the movies like no other.
Yes, we have.
We have been almost every weekend.
Pretty much.
Or every week. Every week. We've been going on Tuesdays.
Yeah, go on
You know it is
Tuesdays.
cheaper.
You already know, save you some money, $5, $6. But last movie we went to a food and movies place.
Yes. We did. It was straight. We never got our food.
I ordered
terrible.
food and I never got it.
We ain't gonna hold the place. We won't say it, but we never got our food. So
didn't get my drink was flat. My other drink was okay, I would say, but we did watch the movie.
The drink was good though. The drink was good.
Yeah, her drink was good. Her drink was good.
The drink is called ooze juice, so if you put two and two together, that's what it is. But that ooze juice was bon appetit.
Yeah, and so, but we did go and see Talk to Me. Now, the A24 horror movie. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. If you haven't, then probably maybe been under a rock because people have been talking about it. But we'll talk about the other movies as well. But we want to start with Talk to Me.
So I will let him go first in terms of what he thinks about it because he has a more positive outlook on the movie.
Yeah, this could become like a back and forth for us just because so if you hear us debating, if it gets rowdy, it's just because, we both have very different opinions of the movie.
I have way better taste in movies, so.
I find that completely a lie.
It's okay.
Yeah, but anyways, so the A24 movie Talk to Me. By the way, spoilers for all the movies we're talking about. We're not good at talking about movies without spoiling them. We're not that good at it. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is your chance now to leave. We're just warning you right now. So
yeah. It's not gonna be too the pencil. It's not gonna be too bad of a spoiler because, like I said, most of these movies are mid.
In fact, most of these, that's what the title is. Most movies are mid nowadays. But I'll go ahead and start it off. I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I had been anticipating it for a while since it had come out. I think the concept was very nice. If you're someone who doesn't deal well with grief or loss, this is going to be a tough one probably to get through. If you're someone who's a little bit squeamish, there's some scenes that are disgusting. I mean, I wouldn't say like Saw disgusting, but they are like ew, like that's kind of messed up. And I will say if you do have sensitive hearing, be careful listening to it in the theaters because it is loud.
It's very unnecessarily loud, and that's why I didn't appreciate it as much. Yeah. But I do understand with seeing so many horror movies, in movies. I mean, seeing so many horror movies in theaters, I do understand. Like they do have to have it loud because hello, the jump scare factor, and then getting people more intrigued into it. So
Exactly.
it
But
was just too loud.
let's go ahead and see here regarding the
There,
movie
it
itself.
got high. A lot of these movies got high ratings too, and
Yes,
that's
and
wild. But anyways, I am more of a. I love horror movies. I love being scared. I love being jump scared. I love all of that. If you can get me to jump, hey, you did it. You
mhm.
did it. But at the end of, but also it's like in the same aspect of me saying that in haunted mansions or like haunted houses, I be jumping and screaming all
Yeah,
the time, whether or not like something's actually scary or not. I just be
yeah.
screaming because it's too loud, it's scary. Them lights be freaking me out too.
I'd probably rather experience a dud horror movie than a dud horror experience, like a
Yeah,
horror mansion. Like I'd rather, and so obviously you'll hear her opinions, but I'll start it off first. First, I just want to say, shout out to Sophia Wilde playing Mia. I think that when you have a movie like this, where you are the main character, where it is centered around you going through grief, going through loss. Quick synopsis of this: the movie does have a good opening. It kind of gives you that horror kind of factor for it. But if you haven't seen it already, quick synopsis: it's centered around a hand that is it's like a porcelain hand that has all this writing on it. Kind of looks a little bit demonic. And apparently, if you
this is
touch the hand,
demonic.
apparently if you hold the hand, then you end up then you obviously have to say talk to me, and then you end
You
up
open a
seeing someone.
portal
Yeah, you
to
open up a
me.
portal to see someone from the dead. And if you say let them in, then they get to take over your body. This can only be done for up to 90 seconds. After 90 seconds, oh, he's going to the house with that. After 90 seconds, the entity, demon, spirit, whatever they call it in the movie. They call it a couple different things, but it really is like a spirit. It takes over you. So Mia's kind of suffering from loss in her life because of her mother dying. She doesn't really know how she died. Her father found her, things of that nature. But the movie is kind of like a self-explanation of how one deals with grief.
I do
But
retract my statement, guys. I didn't think he was gonna go this deep into it. I said we won't spoil that much, but he never mind. I
I'm not
retract my
spoiling. I'm
statement.
just kind of telling you an early synopsis of what it is. Like this is in the trailer. You kind of know.
That's all, folks. I trust and believe me. That's
Her
all.
opinion is that she doesn't like it. I didn't even get a chance
I didn't say I
to.
didn't like
I didn't even get a
it.
chance to
Yeah.
explain why I liked it.
Mhm.
I just thought it was. I just thought it was. It first of all had a really great ending. Probably had one of the better endings for a horror movie I had seen. I can personally suggest this just for people who are wanting to see a good horror movie. Would I tell you that it absolutely needs to be seen in theaters for that great time? No. I would probably tell you watch this at home
Get some friends around.
with
Get
some
some
friends.
popcorn. Like a
I
good
think
movie
you'll
night.
enjoy it. Maybe have a drink or two around if you want to. Who cares, you know? But enjoy yourself with it. But you do not have to see this in theaters. It's not the biggest thing to see in theaters. I know that you've probably seen some advertisements saying it's the best horror movie of the decade or something. I wouldn't say all
It's
that. I
not.
wouldn't even say it's the best one of the year. I would say, in my opinion, probably Evil Dead Rise is just slightly better than
And
it.
I would rather watch that
I would
again
rather
as
watch that
opposed
probably again
to.
over this, but I would say, in my opinion, it is a good to probably little better than average horror movie that does have some really great tropes in it that do work. There's some new elements of it that work, and it doesn't seem like it drags on too long, in my opinion. But if you do see it in theaters, like I said, there are some scenes where you're gonna have to probably plug your ears or something like that. I would probably give it a rating of like an 85 out of 100. I know Rotten Tomatoes has it like a 95, but you know how they can
Like,
be.
yeah, like a 93. Yeah.
But yeah, but I did love the ending, like the beginning, and I thought the acting was pretty good in there. There were some dumb decisions that were made by some of the characters, but there's also some moments that are like intense that I would say kind of mess you up a bit. But hopefully you do get to like it. I would personally suggest you to watch it though. It wouldn't be a waste of time.
Just a waste of money.
Yeah, I'd say it's a waste of money if you like want to see it opening. If you saw it opening night theaters and everything, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, but pretty good movie. That's my opinion. She thought it was mid. So
From like I said, if I don't jump, sorry, it's not scary no more. I'm not even gonna count it as a horror film. But what I will say is that it did have like a good. I wouldn't even say it had really good messaging because at the end of the day, the ending wasn't a good end. It wasn't. No, I'm not saying it wasn't a good ending in terms of the movie, but it wasn't a good ending for Mia. So
okay,
the acting was well. Everyone did play their role. That is one thing. The acting was good.
I thought Mia did great.
There was no person where I was like, okay, what are we doing? Did you
Yeah.
forget your lines? Like what? And then like also the editing as well. because we be paying attention to a lot of that because all the cinema sins that we watch.
Yeah, if you're a cinema
So
sins person, you'll know.
yeah, but I just think like like the movie was just all right. Like it was just like to me it was more of a depressing type thing. Everyone said it was a
Mm.
psychological thriller, and I'm just like I wasn't thrilled about anything. And the moment I didn't tune out, but it was definitely the moment there's a moment where she's gonna slap herself, and
Mm. Hit or miss. Hit or
she
miss.
slaps herself a lot, and it's extremely loud.
In theaters. Once again,
It's
this is in
extremely
theaters. We
loud.
have not seen this from home.
So that's why I always say, like, it's not necessarily a waste of time. What I suggested to people, probably not, because like I said, it was too plain. And but also for me, if I can predict everything that's going to happen into a movie, it's not a good movie to me because
Mm.
I'm not a professional. I've never been a writer. I've never been in journalism, screenwriting, any of that. So if I know the whole movie within the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes, oh, then it's a wrap for me because it's like, oh, I'm kind of tuning it out because it's like.
Mm.
Yeah, it is a predictable movie.
Is that the biggest factor you would say that kind of made you think, okay, it
That and
wasn't?
how loud it was.
Okay. So could I
Absolutely.
also ask if we watched it, if we did not see it in theaters? I did push to see this in theaters, by the way. We could have easily watched it from home, but I did push to see it in theaters because, as you already know, we've been on a movie binge in the theaters. But do you think your experience with it or your thoughts of it would have changed if we would have watched it from home? Obviously, we could control how loud the
No,
volume
because
is.
I still figured out the entire thing I still figured out everything that happened. There was no surprises for me.
So you knew the ending was going to be like that from the
Yeah.
beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so
I
different.
did
She
figure.
knew that and for me, I was expecting it. So there you go with the ending. I can't tell you the ending, but in my opinion, I loved it because it's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see something different. And this was a different story. But there are some parts of it where I can say, we could have done that better. But like I said, it's just loud. Um, and
Overall, like I said,
yeah.
if you want to, I would suggest waiting for it, maybe renting it at home, having a nice,
Yeah, watch it from home.
movie, like having a nice movie night, and chilling at home, because
Save it for Halloween. Save it for Halloween time. You don't have to watch it now. In my opinion, just throw it in with your Halloween movies you want to watch, because I'm sure you'll find something that you don't really like. But
it was gruesome in some parts, but like I said, it's not like I said, it's not a thriller to me. It was not exciting. It was just
any parts you did like?
it was a movie.
Any parts you did enjoy, or you were like, oh, that's different, that's new.
Nothing was different or new for this.
Okay, well, anything you
But
did enjoy about the
I
movie you
will
took away.
say maybe I appreciated the mom's humor at times. It was nice. It was subtle, and like I said, the acting, it didn't seem forced. It didn't seem like, oh, she's playing her mother and she's playing a strict mom. It's like, no, it's time.
Oh, you mean the friend's mom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Mia's
So
friend, Mia's friend's
yeah, because
mother in
Mia's
the movie.
mother is not there, but it's just like I did appreciate the mom's clips, but like I said, that's very little amount of the movie. It's not a lot.
It's not the biggest thing.
So
And-
overall, if
yeah.
I had to give it a grade, I would give it maybe like a 60.
Mm, that
It
gives you
isn't-
a difference, guys.
Yeah, so like I would give it like a 60. That is me being generous, but
Oof.
a 60 is fine. A 60 is fine because like I said, it's not what I like personally in movies. So that's literally just me personally.
Everyone's preference is different.
Not, it's not my cup of tea, and it was too demonic. I am not the type of person who likes horror movies that are super satanic and super cultish. It's so boring. It's played out. It's just like, I'd rather not. And to me, it's just like, it's not my tea to dabble in.
And I would say we have seen more demonic things. And if I could say one more thing before we leave, one thing I didn't like about the movie probably was the in one of the early, I'd probably say in one of the earlier scenes that they kind of tell you how demonic and kind of how messed up things can get. A younger kid who is accompanying the main cast to try the porcelain hand obviously begs Mia to try it, and he finally does, and it leads to him being physically hurt. Let's just say that. And I would say that from that point on, I feel like we kind of pushed him to the side, like how he was. Like they kind of focused more on the outer realm version of himself versus what he's kind of physically going through. I kind of wish we could have seen him more because his scene of how he got messed up is very intense. It is messed up what he does to himself, what happens to him. But I feel like after that we could have done more there.
And while we're speaking on horror, we're gonna go into Insidious The Red Door. So Insidious for me.
She dragged me to this one by the
Yeah, so
I did
he
not
dragged
want to
me
see
to talk.
this.
He dragged me to talk to me.
Yes.
And I dragged him to
Insidious in the theaters.
Now,
yep.
Insidious is one of those things where I was like, hey, it's Tuesday, we might as well. We wasn't doing nothing. But for Insidious, for me, it holds a very dear, place in my heart. Okay, just because that was one of the first scary movies I ever saw in theaters. I saw it with my friend Taylor. Shout out to Taylor.
I don't know this franchise, by the way.
And it was nice to see the same boy from the first and second one being in this last one. It was cool. Now, was the story? That don't mean the movie was phenomenal. I'm not gonna, because we all know after the first and second one. Well, actually, really after the first one, it was it. They should have did one and done and been done with it.
I dropped off after that point too. I didn't even know there was this many of them to be. I thought there was 3 when she told me this is what the 5th one. Fourth? No.
I believe so. It's the 4th.
It's 1, 2. No, there's one called The Lost. Is it 3 and then The Lost Key? And then it's this one?
No,
I'll do some inside research real quick. But anyway, you keep talking.
I was just gonna say, like I said, it did hold up because when I was younger, and granted, this was when I was far younger. When I watched Insidious, it did scare me, and it got me to jump multiple times. And what I just said earlier, if you can get me to jump, then hey. But like how they tried to take I guess since there is 5,
yes,
how they took the 3rd and 4th one was just like, okay, you're weird. And the second one I couldn't take seriously because now if y'all have seen Insidious 2, the lady that was supposed to be, there was a lady that was in there, she was supposed to be a jump scare. I instantly cracked up because the lady in it was from True Jackson VP. So if y'all ever seen that show, it was the lady that was her boss. And so she was one of the jump scares. And I said, girl, where's True Jackson? Because it's just like, what are we doing? Like, she just looks crazy. And and then also with Insidious, it is too loud as well. It's too loud because you can tell Insidious would not even be scary if it wasn't for the sounds. Granted.
Also true.
It's just loud, and I'm like the only thing there was one time it did get me to jump, even this one.
It got us. No, there was some parts.
It did get me at the beginning. It was more toward the beginning, but overall, like I said, the story of Insidious to me is a little bit better, but like I said, it's not phenomenal. After the first one, they should have just been one and done, and that could have been one of the
one-hit
greater
wonders.
It would have been a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, overall, the movie, like the Red Door one, so we're talking about the most recent one, not where it holds a place in my heart and all that.
Yeah, the bias is coming out, y'all. She's Insidious.
No, because Insidious The Red Door, and the dad be messing me up too, because he be in so much stuff looking goofy. I'm just like, oh, child, I can't. But it was a good story, a good parallel between the son. It went back to, like I said, the original roots, where the son and the father had issues. It did throw me off in some scenes as well because it was showing stuff that we didn't really experience in the first and second one. So I'm like, maybe that was something they kind of colluded at the end. Yep. But I would overall give it out of 100, maybe like a 65 or 70.
Oh, wow. So really not that much better than Talk to Me, in your opinion, probably.
No, they both, like I said, mid. Like a lot of these movies are not.
Alrighty.
I mean, they're not what they used to be, but of course, like the writing strike right now, and
we'll get to that. We will get to the strike and all that
and
stuff.
all those things. But to me, Insidious, it is what it is. Good ride. Let's not make no more. Let's not make no more.
Yeah. Once again, we ended up watching this one in a theater where we were eating in this one. Yeah. We ate in this. It's a different eating place, but we did get our food at this one, so. Yeah. We had it, it was decent. So here's my side of it. I've only watched the first one. How she feels about Insidious is probably how I feel about Saw. We just have a horror franchise that we like, or we stick to, we've kept up with them just because.
He cannot compare that because he really likes Saw. I do not really love Insidious.
Okay.
I just don't like the first one.
Well then, let me just go ahead and get my opinion of it. I thought this was actually decent. I thought it was all right. I thought it was actually, it did get me in more than one part. I didn't understand, obviously, since I haven't watched four of them. I mean, there were three of them. I don't really know. Like the boy was getting older and stuff. But I did like the black girl in this one. I thought she was funny. I thought she worked as a companion for the son in college.
She was a little goofy.
She was a little bit goofy.
We all black women. We know we're not gonna be doing all that.
Okay, let's just not bring the whole race into it now.
But you're the one who said black girl.
No, but because
because that ain't common sense.
Okay, but there are some moments that are, but it's also entertainment factor. I will say that it did have some good moments where it was a good mix of psychological horror, the paranormal horror, and that didn't have to show you a lot of like gore or stuff happening. There were some parts where I was like, oh my goodness, can we just kind of get through this? You know, like I don't really understand parts of it that are going on, but I still did enjoy it. Apparently, it wrapped itself up like this is the last one, so I would assume this is the last one. So I only watched the first and the last one, and I can tell you it's, in my opinion, it's not a horror franchise I would necessarily say you need to see the whole thing through, but it is better than Paranormal Activity. I absolutely hate that shit. So if you like Paranormal Activity, I'm sorry.
For instance, you can do the first, second, and then the last one. And
I think that would work.
Just skip the third and fourth.
I think that would work.
It's different people for the third and fourth one. So. And
I thought the son did okay in the scenes. The scenes of the son being mad at his father.
Oh yes.
I thought those were good. I think the parental back and forth was good. I think they did that. And even for me, I don't really know the story, but they opened up and kind of gave you a little bit of a recap what happened. So I appreciate that. It wasn't too long, but I did like how the son and the dad talked to each other. It felt real. You want acting to feel like it's just them talking in the room, not like they were forced to say these specific lines. So I'd say that worked. And also, I liked when they were at the party. I think the party scene was pretty funny when they had to like kind of get out of a certain situation. So
but it's kind of nasty. It ends pretty nasty.
It does get pretty nasty. There are a couple of jump scares that I was like, okay, I'm kind of waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to get past it. But if a movie can make me feel a little bit of trepidation waiting for it to happen, I would appreciate that. Versus, oh my goodness, I was kind of cheap. So I would give this movie a 75 in my opinion. I would say, oh my goodness, Al.
We didn't finish that either.
We never finished that one either. But yeah, I would say I'd still say it was okay.
What would you give it?
Like I said, I would give it a 75. In my opinion, there was just some elements missing of it that I wish could have worked more, but it was still okay. I do wish we could have seen the mom, but if you're a fan of the mom, I'm sorry.
The mom, y'all
she's barely
know,
in this.
y'all know from the first one.
I remember from the first.
How scared she was.
And she was acting well in that first one.
And even in the second one, she is what held the second one the closest thing
She ain't
together.
in this one, y'all. I'm sorry. She's barely in it.
Oh my gosh, because her face, she's a great actress, so like her facials, but you get scared too, because it's just like, damn, like, and you're experiencing it with her.
But she's an observer. She's doing as much as you are watching the movie. She's an audience member.
Yeah.
She's pretty much watching the dad go through it. But like I said, as well as the other son, I didn't even know the other son's an observer too. I thought he was going to be a part of it. So I'm just going to tell you right now, if you like the dad and you like the son, there you go. This is your movie. This might be your Insidious. But overall, 75. And it wrapped up still well. Oh, and I will say probably my favorite scene is probably when he's first painting in his university.
Oh yeah,
and
that's what got us.
And he does that is what got us. I will give him that. So it's pretty good. But yeah, that's our second movie. So yeah, different opinions on the first one and kind of a little bit of green on the second. So what's next? What do we watch?
So next we're gonna go into the kiddie movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We may be older, but we still got time for some animated.
I'm gonna start off with if you guys know Penguins.
Oh,
and how he
the
talked
YouTuber.
About this movie.
Yeah.
He tore it up.
He did destroy it. Mm-hmm.
Elemental. We did not even finish it.
So let's put some context in it, and it's actually funny because we're watching football now. We first saw this movie we first saw any information from this movie was from the Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl commercial, and immediately watching it, that trailer, I thought, okay, this should be okay. You know, it should be all right. It kind of gives some Inside Out vibes, colorful, mixed with Zootopia, I feel. And obviously, that was back in February. We've seen advertisements for it, but when we actually were watching the movie, y'all, let's be honest, we did not finish it.
I
think we only got
asleep.
15 minutes in,
and we stopped it.
It was
very boring, but also what ruined it for me at the start, or really just before you even watch the movie, you see how quickly. Actually, no. This is a better way to say it. The trailer shows you the whole movie. Okay, if you saw the trailer, you saw the movie. Okay, it's nothing more like there's literally um. I was falling asleep through all of it. Honestly, I really didn't even watch it. I did not even watch it. I can't even really. Honestly, we can't even rate it.
There's nothing memorable about it.
It was just so boring. It was just like this girl that was hot because she's fired, and
it's elements.
Exactly. So she's element of fire, and to me, I feel like the story was just this woman with fire was basically they were just showing that it was kind of a play on diversity. Honestly,
a little bit of segregation.
It was literally like it was saying like how they obviously with them they can burn anything up. So why would nature and what would be the
it would element? Be water, earth, and air.
So why would earth want to be with her, and why would air want to be with fire either? So
and why would water want to be with her?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it shows how they were kind of separated, which some demographics can already feel that way. But it was just like I said, it was just so boring, and I did not care about them. Like,
wasn't that interesting?
It was just kind of like, oh, she's a hard ass, and she's been doing this. The animation of it, it looked fine. They looked, it was fine.
I still think Disney could have done better with how it looked. I think it was okay. I think how it looked was okay. My honest opinion, since I didn't finish it, I can't. We're not going to give you a rating.
Yeah,
we didn't put it on a board. By the way, Insidious was what, a C? We gave Insidious a C on our board, I believe, and then we put Talk to Me as a B. I got power over that. Elemental. All I can tell you about this is go watch Inside Out and watch Zootopia, and you've pretty much got they're far better than this one. It's just not worth kind of watching, in my opinion. And the box office showed it in the beginning. It was kind of bombing in the beginning, and for some reason, I think it might have been from social media, it might have been from TikTok or whatever. It's actually made its money back, so. You can be so it beat the allegations of it being a bomb, so Disney made some money off that, but it's just not worth watching. And for you to pay money for a Super Bowl commercial to show the trailer, you've shown the trailer for the whole thing.
I was excited to see it based off the Super Bowl trailer because I was like, oh, it looks really nice, it looks cool, and I was thinking like, what's
the story gonna be?
And I was thinking it was more like all of them, like they were living life all together,
but they weren't.
Not
the fire people are segregated. Like that's what they're showing you.
I like the trailer so much. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a really good trailer because it's like showing me it's not showing me too much. And it's giving like the right amount of, this is a kid movie, so you already know what to expect as an adult. Like, it's a kid movie.
It's not gonna have the deepest of themes, but it's gonna have something. But it's just for us, it wasn't worth finishing because we've seen something better than it. Like I said, Inside Out, she wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I guess you can also agree that was better than this because it had heart and story to it from the beginning. Like I said, if you like it, hey, I can see some elements of the movie as to where you would like it. Sorry guys, that was a dad joke. But there are some parts of it that you could like of it, but we stopped about 15-20 minutes in just because we realized we could have others.
No, he had went pretty far. You had went to about you were almost at an hour.
Really? I don't remember much of what was happening then. I'm sorry. I don't remember much of it.
That's what we tuned it out. I was falling asleep. So.
The last part I remember is the water guy was no, actually we got put
you did. Yeah, you got far.
Yeah, you're right. Here's what I'll say. I think from the Super Bowl trailer, they showed the firewoman interacting with the water person, and I didn't want it to just feel like another Disney, we don't mix, but we gotta find a way to mix love story.
Yeah, exactly.
They kind of were tricking you in the beginning because, the store that her dad runs is being given to her, and that's her legacy. They were trying not to show you that, but that's what it was Disney. And it's like, I don't need that. Versus Zootopia was a harmonic kind of coming together story and like growing up story. And Inside Out was, in my opinion, one of the deepest things Disney's done because they really went into the emotions of how we act based off of them. This felt like Disney felt cheap.
Yeah,
this felt rushed.
Let's throw something together that's easy.
It felt copy and paste. We got to get something out to keep people coming to us. That's what it felt like. And I just feel like they can do something better. Now, there are some future Disney projects that I am interested in. I think Echo's one of them, or Elio, something like that. There's one of them that's coming out later on. But let's transition to
Teenage
Let's transition to Kraken
Kraken.
because this is funny, y'all. These two movies we kind of had on the same level from the beginning because,
Yeah.
in our opinions, they look the same a little
Because
bit. Yeah.
it's exact opposite. Kraken was
Kraken.
showing me way too much of it. I was like, I already know who your enemy is. You're a weird, awkward teenager. You're this big Kraken, and then your mom. You know, we already know your mom wasn't really in on it. It does show, like the trailer does show you a
Yeah.
lot of it, but there were some elements of surprise in it to where it was like, oh, okay, like this was actually good. I did stay up for this one, so we can rate this one.
Yeah, it's called Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken Warrior, something like that. We've seen the trailers before. The trailers did show us something. Shout out to Straw Hat. Shout out to my TikTok guy who does a lot of content. Straw Hat Goofy guy. He actually got me interested in it because he has a voice in the movie as one of the characters. I think it was the gym coach. So I wanted to see it pretty much a little bit based off that. But this one had more heart to it.
Yeah.
And within the first 20 minutes, we
actually
cared about her. The mother, I
We-
thought, was really good in the
Yeah.
movie because she's a Kraken, and we can tell you parts of it. Oh, he's taking that to the house. We can, within 20 minutes of the movie, she turns into the Kraken, and her mother
she
has to
touches
calm her
water,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, because she touches water, and her mother has to calm her down, and it's a good, once again, parental moment where a parent's acting like a real parent, not like overbearing or yelling at her or making her feel bad. She was there for her, and throughout the movie, the friends were different. Her friends were different. They kind of displayed different aspects of what we see in society today in terms of what you like and what you don't like, and they didn't really shove that kind of wokeness too much in our face. I appreciate
But
it.
it was goofy how the fact that her family were Krakens and then they were living with humans because people she was with are human.
Yeah, and she's blue, and she says it's
Yeah.
like she's from Canada. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
It's one of those like truly she's a fish out of water
Yeah.
scenario. But it worked. I thought the love interest, I thought the guy was funny.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't
he worked
too
well in there.
overbearing. It's not like the whole movie is about her trying to impress the guy or get the guy. It's
I would have
that.
probably turned it off halfway if it was like, oh, I got to get this because she's supposed to go to prom, and you know how these movies can be.
Yeah.
It can be a whole buildup of the girl trying to get the guy to go to prom, and I got to look my best friend. But no, most of the movie was her discovering herself
Yes.
as a Kraken and as a normal person trying to fit into being accepted, and I appreciated that.
You could take your kids there if like they're growing up, they're getting in those awkward teenage years, and you're just. But even though now the awkward teenage years are not what they used to be,
They're not even close.
Either way, people are going to be growing. You're going to have changes. You're going to have you're going to go to a different developmental stage. So.
Yep. And this was from DreamWorks, so obviously the guys who did Shrek and all that. But you got to compare Disney and DreamWorks, and in this competition, we determined that DreamWorks doesn't put a lot of money into their CGI and how the effects look because they put more time, I would say, into the writing recently. They really make you care about the characters first before they flash you with all the colors and how great things.
Yeah.
I will say one aspect of the movie. Also, I think why we really liked it was the mermaid. Shout out to the mermaid character.
Yeah.
Here's the only spoiler for you.
Yeah.
Very convincing.
But like
very
if you
convincing.
saw the trailer, you would know already that the mermaids are evil.
If we didn't know that part, we probably put it at an A because she was very convincing.
Did very good because it was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking like maybe her mom is the evil mermaid or something, or maybe her aunt or something, not her. So
exactly, and I think the voice acting people did a good job. And when I say DreamWorks didn't put all their money into the CGI, I'm not telling you this looks terrible. It still was very colorful. I think when she turned into the Kraken and when they had the final fight with her, I think the mermaid looked cool, like the scales and everything. So it worked. Like I said, it was interesting. It was a nice little watch. Seemed like something you could show a class if you wanted to teach about growing up. But DreamWorks hit it out the park. If you asked us Elemental or Teenage Kraken, watch Teenage Kraken. You'll have a good time.
But also, like I said, for Elemental, I
couldn't watch it. Just couldn't finish the movie. And we like finishing films. But we have a 20-minute limit. So, and after 20 minutes, it's not good there. So yeah. Anyway, we ended up putting that on a. I think we ended up giving it a C to a B. So it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next one.
We still gotta rate it. I would probably give Teenage Kraken.
Ruby Gillman.
I would probably give it I'm a critic, okay?
Just your honest opinion.
So
Out of 100,
I'll
you know.
give it based off of kid movies. So I'm not gonna do it off what the movies I like to watch the most.
Okay.
I will give it an 80.
Wow.
I will give it an 80.
And you know what's funny? I'll give it that same rating. I'd say it's an 80. It's not a Shrek, obviously. I
Yeah.
think that tackles more deep meanings, but I think it was good. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It left itself open to, in my opinion, it kind of left itself open to either be like a little. You could do a little spin-off series of it, or you could do a second movie if you wanted to. There's a lot that you could explore with that world there, but I think that it was nice. It was cool. When you're done watching something, when I was done watching it, a part of me was like, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of it, just to explore her history and things like that, and how it was.
And yeah, like dive deeper
The
into
family
like the
was
mom.
nice.
Yeah, like
I thought the family was
the
funny.
ladies, because the ladies are the Krakens, not the men.
Yeah, and
so.
and they do play on that trope a lot, where the men are like, yeah, we just get fat and stay the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And the women, obviously, they don't,
They get big. The men don't. Yeah, they literally say the men don't get big.
The men
Only
don't
the
get
women
big.
do.
Yeah, and obviously you can kind of tell, since she is a female in a movie where it's the women transitioning. DreamWorks did sprinkle a little bit of a. It's supposed to put you a little bit of a retrospective of like growing up and coming into yourself and understanding kind of who you are in that way.
Yeah, and
Not
know
as
what
much
you
as
were.
Turning Red did. I think Turning Red kind of slapped you across the face with the whole,
Yeah.
you're a woman growing up now. This one was subtle, put into there underneath the Kraken. So I'd give it that. I'd give it that. Good
So,
80. All right.
yeah.
So, all right. What's up next?
Next is going to be the two biggest ones. Obviously, guys, we saw them. I did not see.
Oppenheimer.
I did not.
Oh my
But
goodness. Yes.
We will discuss Barbie first, and then he will let you guys know about
Oppenheimer.
Gotcha.
Let's get into Barbie. First off, what'd you
Margo,
say?
Go Issa, go America.
Well, before that, what'd you say? You just said it earlier. You said you saw an actor in something and you said it was a turn off or you couldn't take them seriously.
Yes.
What'd you say that to?
I said
It was in
that
Insidious,
about,
right?
Yeah, it was about Insidious, the second
Let me
one.
tell you this now, because we'll get to Secret Invasion in a second. Gravik in Secret Invasion, the main villain, I forget.
Yeah.
But Ben Kingsley, I think that's his name. Seeing him in Barbie after seeing Secret Invasion, completely two different characters. It was funny. But anyway, let's talk about Barbie first. We've seen so many trailers for this. We've pressed tour. It's made $1 billion. But first off, congratulations, Greta Gerwig. First most successful female director we've ever seen. First woman director to ever make $1 billion at the box office. Phenomenal job.
We love
and great job
women.
to Margot Robbie. But damn it, go ahead, Ryan Gosling. This woman right here, she won't watch. This is the only Ryan Gosling movie she'll watch.
Whatever.
And he did a great job in this.
No, you're thinking of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, well, whatever. I mean, sometimes they look alike. I don't know.
They don't.
They
but
sometimes act
Ryan
alike.
did amazing. I think Ryan really
stole the show. Almost.
I did not, besides some dancing scenes. But definitely, I definitely think they were. Now, Barbie, okay, so guys, with me, when a movie is really, really overhyped, exactly the same feeling I felt after Barbie is the same feeling I felt after Black Panther. And
wait, Wakanda Forever or the first one?
The first one.
Oh.
And the reason why is because I saw personally with Black Panther, I was in nursing school at the time, but in terms of Black Panther, it was so overhyped and because obviously it was overhyped for a very good reason. And so Barbie, as we know now, it was I can't say neither of them were overhyped. They were just very
highly marketed.
Media. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it.
But you have to give it its due diligence. We don't see this that often. Where two movies that are completely different in their targeted audience, even the run times. I mean, we'll tell you this now, guys. About midway through Barbie, we could hear Oppenheimer. So the memes,
going off and...
the memes, we understand, we get it. But anyway, I'll let her continue. Wouldn't say extremely overhyped. I would say one of the most marketed movies we've ever seen. Like, you could not go anywhere without it. And shout out Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Shout out Ice Spice and that was a damn good theme song for it.
Like a Barbie.
So it was good. Anyway, continue with what your thoughts on the movie.
I will say, the movie has a great message for all young ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely hear it, and for young men too. I think young men and young women, you should, especially with today's day and age, with so many things of men versus women, and traditional, because they're all these like back and forth things,
patriarchy,
versus,
misogynist things of that nature.
It's just like all those things. It was great to see because it has such a great message at the end, saying at the end of the day we should all coexist. Like we should all, no one should be all the time. It shouldn't be men running stuff all the time. It shouldn't be women running stuff all the time.
Correct.
It should show like a good balance, and so that's a great way of looking at it. And it could show younger kids about, wow, they have good ideas that I could use, and also I'm not useless, and I could be used for things as well, or I can do things on my own as well. So it's like you don't have to feel, I'm like, in her world, the men were like, oh, we're useless, we're all Kens, and then in their world she was like, oh my god, like the men look at me crazy, they don't respect me. And it was just like I said, for any woman, you already know, like, it's so eye-opening whenever Barbie goes to the real world, because it's just like, yeah, girl, like, you think you made stuff better, you didn't.
Great scene, and great transition from Barbie Land.
The daughter was really irrelevant, sorry to say. She's such a cutie.
Yeah.
Very irrelevant.
I would say the human characters, I don't even really remember their name. I think the daughter was pretty irrelevant. The mother was far better. She was a good character.
Yes, America.
But yes.
But I think, like I said, overall the movie has a great message. Like I said, with things that are really, really highly marketed, and I see it all the time, I'm expecting to be blown away. Was I blown away? No. But, like I said, it is phenomenal how they put it together, how it looked, how, they had so many different types of Barbies. It was a lot more than what I was actually expecting. Yeah. But, like I said, overall, great message, and I would, obviously, anyone I would recommend to, especially younger kids. That's definitely,
especially young women.
Yes, it's definitely something good to look at. And like like I said, I do want young women and men to see it, because I hope that you can just, I know it's Barbie, like, ew, why are you gonna go see Barbie? I'm not a man, but it's just like, no, it has such great messaging, and you shouldn't, and don't look at it like that, because a woman would go see Oppenheimer too.
And I was about to say, the marketing for Barbieheimer helped more women kind of transition themselves into giving a Christopher Nolan film a chance, or something, well, obviously outside of Batman, but to watch something like Oppenheimer, and of course, for men, it's like, we'll watch anything, but obviously, if you're a man in a relationship, you can kind of relate to me here, saying, you probably were either dragged to see Barbie, or you were suggested by it by your significant other, and you probably walked out of the theater going, yeah, that's actually pretty good. And in my opinion, Ryan Gosling, just absolutely phenomenal in this movie. It's so funny. He made me laugh. You never get tired of just watching him be Ken. He truly felt like a Ken come from the screen. Because in our opinion, guys, the last time we even saw Barbie or Ken in the same room was Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, that's what it felt like. It kind of felt like those...
Oh, they were in Toy Story 4. Isn't that the one where she's like, I don't want it, and she throws the doll away? He was in 4.
They were kind of in it. But the scenes of Ken and Barbie were in Toy Story 3. I was trying to unclose for her.
Yeah.
That it felt like they took those scenes and they made a movie out of it, and it was literally Margot as
and it wasn't a love story either about her and Ken, which I don't think it was never marketed that way, but like I said, it was always Margot and Ryan. Exactly.
They were
the main ones.
Yes. Yeah, Ken, I think that they were even. Like, as much as Margot is Barbie, Ryan Gosling is Ken. They work so well as them. Great aspects of the film. Shout out to Issa Rae too. Just anytime she was talking, I thought that was funny.
Love her voice.
And what was her name? Messed Up Barbie, or whatever that Barbie was.
Like
that
freaky Barbie.
Freaky Barbie. She had me laughing too.
She was funny. She was great.
She was great in it. Really, just seeing so many different versions of this doll that you're used to seeing was great. Good Easter egg. I don't even think you know this. When Margot was in the real world and she showed up to the lunch table with the girls making fun of her, that's supposed to be the Bratz dolls Those were supposed to
Yeah, I
be,
knew
yeah, the
that.
Bratz dolls. I think that was
I
nice.
noticed that right away because I was like,
Supposed to
oh, they're all diverse. I was like, I know what y'all are
Bratz
doing.
dolls, kind of like going against you. But I thought the messaging was so good because you go into it thinking it's just going to be just about Barbie, but it's just as much about can men not feeling if there is a world like that, men not feeling appreciated, kind of like an afterthought, but also Ken feeling like you're much more than just your woman or who you want to go after. I like that message of it because they weren't together. Not spoiler or anything, but it's not like they kiss. It's nothing like that happens. For him to keep throwing himself onto her and thinking there's no Ken without
Yeah,
Barbie, and then for
exactly.
Barbie to be like there's no Barbie without Barbie. It's a very it's a good realization of who you are
There's
and where
no
you
Barbie
fit.
without Ken.
There's no Barbie without Ken, yeah. But even for Margot, for her to realize as a playing the character, it felt very self-aware. Like you're much more than just the doll. It's what the doll represents. It's women being anything that they can be, and then going into the real world and seeing that men take over, and this aspect of the patriarchy, and even Will Ferrell being the CEO of the company, and then him saying, "Well, we did have a woman CEO at one point."
Yeah.
It's funny because it's good. I will say a subtle scene that I really liked is when she was about to go in the box and they were gonna twist her in. How quickly she was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that," because it's a metaphor of truly being boxed in. This is what you are. She didn't want to be that anymore.
And then also another thing of what you just to toggle off of what you just said. It's also it was men putting her in a box of no, you are this.
This is what you are.
This is that pretty Barbie that you're supposed to be. That's what you're gonna do. And
Stereotypical.
You're gonna do what I say and just stay right there. That's it. So it was like I said, and all the men in there were saying, yeah, and it was all those men around them and all those, and then she goes, where are the like he said, whenever she came into that room, she was just like, okay, where are the women?
Exactly, and there were none. There were none. But yeah, Mattel did a good job, and obviously you've seen the two speeches in the movie that probably make people cry the most emotional. The one being the mother explaining to Barbie what women have to do, what women have to put up with. Let me tell you guys, in my opinion, it's one of the best. I mean, that's great writing. That's you touch so many. If you're a man who has any issues or things with how women are perceived, why they act a certain way. I mean, just watch this movie. Shut the hell up and listen to that line because it explains so much of why we act the way we do, how we feel, and even watching Ken feel unappreciated. Because I felt for him. I felt for Ryan when he was like, can you listen to me? Can you hear me? Like I'm here and to be.
And he also knew his value wasn't just about getting a woman.
Exactly.
It wasn't like that. Of course, relationships are different now because you can be a lot of things or like you can have different types of relationships. But it's like it was also him, saying like he said, like there is no Barbie without Ken. But it's also like no, like Ken, you are Ken.
You're Ken. It's not just Barbie. And then, of course, the other speech being at the very end of the movie where the creator of Barbie gets to talk to Margot Robbie. I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was so well put up. It was a great ending. It does bring about emotion because you feel for them. You feel for what they're going through, the decisions that need to be made, and a huge decision that she makes at the end of the film, which I think was really great. And that last line, I mean, I was laughing. It was a good little where she was going. I thought that was funny. I didn't even expect that. But it was great. Like I said, we suggested, in my opinion, I would give it a solid 90%. Did it live up to the hype that it was getting so much as this revolutionary movie? No, not in my opinion now, but I will say this movie is going to stand for the test of time. This is going to be one of those films that you talk about 30, 40, 50 years from now, embodying what feminism truly is. Not forcing your ideals onto the opposite sex, but understanding we can come together into this. It's very good. If you're a man and you didn't find this movie entertaining, fun, smart, or good writing, look yourself in the mirror. That's all I got to say. If you walked out and you said, "Oh, that was crap. I didn't understand it," look, you might not be old enough to understand it. To be honest with you, but yeah, what would you give? I'd give it a 90. What would you say?
I give it an 85.
85. Good. It was good. It was good. Now with the other one, let's go. I'll go ahead and move through this because she didn't watch it. She'll probably end up watching it later. I'll force her to watch it later. But anyway, Oppenheimer, the completely different tone of it. If you know Christopher Nolan, you know him from the Batman movies. He's just known as the Steven Spielberg, James Cameron. You know he won't play around when he goes with the movie. First shout out has to be to Josh Peck. I mean, I did not expect Josh Peck to be in this movie.
The big boob.
I thought he was funny, but let me just go ahead and hit some of the best points of it because we got other movies to get to, and since we didn't both watch this, it's just me talking about it. Just an absolutely phenomenal film. I mean, you can't. It's. I have a soft
Shout
spot
out
for.
to Cillian Murphy because he is in one of my favorite movies ever.
Yes, Cillian Murphy's just fantastic. I mean, he is Oppenheimer. He becomes him. You almost forget that he's it. Shout out to Florence Pugh. She was great in this one too. I mean,
And to all her haters talking about her body, get some help. Go watch
yeah,
Barbie or
phenomenal.
something.
I
don't know.
mean, it was just such a well put together movie. Great aspects of the movie. I know it's 3 hours. That can be a very daunting runtime for people. In my experience, it did not feel like that. It was the fastest 3 hour movie I've ever watched. I know that there's a lot of talking, there's dialogue scenes, there's law scenes, and things of that nature, but the science, the emotion behind it is powerful. Essentially, he is the creator of the atomic bomb, and you do wonder how does the man who created the most powerful destructive device we've ever seen feel after it's used? And who takes the power away from him? The US government. The amount of work this man puts in to put together one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in my life is phenomenal. And I'm not just talking about Oppenheimer, I'm talking about Christopher Nolan. If you already didn't know, this movie did not have any CGI in it. And for us, with the amount of superhero movies we've seen, it's beautiful to see actual shots being done for real. And then who else did I want to shout out in this one? Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. What else do you expect? It's Robert Downey Jr. You for so many years we were so used to seeing him as Iron Man. He's not Iron Man. He is Strauss here. He's just so great. And as lame as it sounds, I never thought I'd be excited to see Albert Einstein in a fucking movie. It's just so cool. It's fun. I think the ending is one of the scariest endings I've ever. It's probably the most chills I've ever felt at the end of a movie in my life because it's so real. There's no spoilers with this at all. You probably already know, but the chain reaction. I'm sure you couldn't find any results, but the chain reaction of creating all these atomic bombs can lead to the destruction of the entire world. Essentially, is what the message is that scientists love the aspect of how do we change things, how do we discover something that's new, and for them to create a bomb and then for it to be used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in a way that it didn't need to be used, and the politics of it all. Matt Damon was great in this movie too. Everybody was, you know what? Everybody was great. It's one of those movies where you are at the end of it and you say,
Trash.
rent was due. Rent was due. Everybody delivered. I expect this to be, in my opinion, this is the best movie of the year. It should be nominated for Best Picture of the year. It was just phenomenal. I'll be watching it again. I'm just speechless to it. It's great. It's just one of those movies that you'll never forget. And like I said, if you ever have a chance to watch it, it needs to be experienced in theaters. This is the complete opposite of everything we've told you about with the other movie. You need to watch this in theaters because when you see it on a big, I watched this in 70 millimeters, which is, I know this is so lame, it's so nerdy, but we watch so many things on IMAX. It's so cool to watch a movie how they used to be, where you roll it on camera and you see things, and it's such a great experience. And I'm just gonna go ahead and end it like this, y'all. This scene of the bomb going off, just go watch it for that. I mean, it's so damn good. To know that Josh Peck pushes the button that sets off the test for the atomic bomb, I would have, when we were watching Drake and Josh, I would have never imagined who Miranda Cosgrove was calling, hey boobs. I would have never imagined that Drake Bell would be the one in trouble and Josh Peck would be in one of the biggest movies of the year. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have expected that. But yeah, absolutely amazing movie. If I had to give it away, and it's going to get a 95, y'all. I absolutely love The Social Network. It's my favorite movie of all time. This one is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It's phenomenal. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just great. And it is loud, but It's still not as loud as Insidious or Talk to Me.
Talk to Me was extremely loud
Yeah.
for no reason.
But just go watch it,
But
y'all.
maybe it was the movie theater
It
because
could be the theater.
that was the one that was completely different than the others, and it was extremely loud. And I said,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
But yeah, like I said, go watch Oppenheimer. If you think it's gonna have some great messaging in there, it has some great messaging in there, but it's mainly a biopic film that will tell you a lot about things that you probably didn't already know. Biopic. It's
No. You're right. I just trend.
It's okay.
Biopic.
But yeah, she'll eventually watch it. We'll eventually sit down and watch it because it is a worth watching. Like I said, Florence Pugh is fantastic in this movie, and I think that everybody does a great job. You just want to see a great movie get made. Someone who cares about filmmaking and how it's done. And that's how it's done, y'all. So, like I said, if you ever need time to watch a great film, there you go. But anyway, that was like the Barbieheimer. Successful. I would say successful. That's how you release two great movies on the same night, and they're both successful. That's great.
And then, so this is our last movie.
Yes, movie we'll be speaking of.
It is a superhero movie.
Oh my goodness,
favorite. Loves it. And you know what's crazy? Because
we might have talked about this a little bit before.
No, should we even talk about this movie?
Really?
Because we said we did not support the person.
That is correct. I'm going to eat some crow here, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. So, we
wanted to try D-box seats.
We wanted to try the D-box seats. If you don't know what those are the seats that they move around when you talk. I know that we said on one of our previous streams that we were not going to support and spend our money on Ezra Miller. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we did. We did end up seeing The Flash in D-box seats, and if you're laughing at us, if you're watching the stream right now and you're like, oh, I hope they realize it was shit. We do.
It was by far like
the worst
terrible
superhero movie we've ever seen.
It was a terrible movie.
It makes Ant-Man look like a
phenomenon.
Blockbuster.
It's just like
God,
it was just the story of it was just I don't care. I don't care. The CGI horrendous. I'm just like, because you know what's funny, guys? I just made him watch Smart House, like the old
with
movie
Katie Seagal and the house from Disney Disney Channel.
Yeah, from Disney Channel, an original Disney Channel movie. And she cloned y'all know she clones herself at the end to show them something. She looked 50 million times better than how Ezra did with literally just one of them.
Actually, let's not even say his name. Let's just say the
Flash. What's his
Flash.
name? I forgot
Flash.
his name.
Barry.
Yeah.
Let's just say that Barry, when he's in his room and he's with the other version of himself. Guys, it looks like I've been saying this for months. It looks like a PlayStation 2 game. It's so bad, and it's just not up to par with whatever you would expect. The only great part of I can't believe I'm saying this, Ben Affleck's Batman was fine to great in this one. That's the only part I actually did like. I didn't like anything else. If you want to know how the D-box experience was, that's the only part we kind of liked about it because
it was no, but honestly, the D-box. It's like honestly, if you don't have I would say don't go to a D-box seat until it's a movie you really want to see, and it's also very action filled. This was really kind of dumb for us to even get them because he runs all the time. So
yeah, so there's
only so much you can do, and like I said, the tickets are like more expensive because obviously you're getting a different experience, and it's just like I said, the movie just felt so flat. It was. So
we learned our lesson, guys. I'm sorry, we lied to y'all. We're hypocrites. We are. We said we weren't gonna watch it, and we did. But we're done. But yeah,
I give it a 10 out of 100. It was terrible, and
it gets a 5 to a 6 to me. I'll never watch it again, ever. I will never lay my hands on it, and it ruined a superhero for me.
Yeah.
I absolutely think The Flash is the lamest superhero ever. And
it also seemed kind of rushed as well. It just was a mess. It was.
And it bombed, as you already know. It absolutely bombed, rightfully so. It was terrible. So it was bombed. It was terrible.
It was just a hot mess.
So we finished through the movies. We've only watched one television show. together. We took. Well, we're not going to talk about that other show.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that one yet. But we do
And we're
have
not
a.
gonna talk
We
about.
when yeah we're not going to talk about those. We're not going to talk about one specific show we're watching together. We'll get to that when we're done with the second season. But we're appreciating that one so far. We do like that show so far. I think it's really good. We'll probably have to do a whole stream just on that show because there's a lot of things to tackle in it. But let's go ahead and move on to the only TV show we've watched together.
That is completed.
That is completed. If you want to know, we're in the middle of Naruto. That's the only anime we're watching. We're taking a break from it because it's a long series, as you already know. But we did watch Secret Invasion. I'm just going to give you the sound effect. Trash. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not understand what Marvel Studios is doing. This series cost $212 million to make for 6 episodes. It was absolutely, without a doubt, one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen on the platform. It was trash. It was awful. Samuel L. Jackson, you completely phoned this one in. I can tell. There's just so many things wrong with this one. Obviously, Ben Kingsley. I told you the guy from who played Gravik, the main villain. He was probably one of the only freaking saving graces of this show because he was trying so hard to act through it. But it was bad. It felt rushed. It felt so empty. Guys, the president of the United States gets shot and he's in the hospital. And Nick Fury and one nurse is pushing him through the hospital. What, guys, if Obama got shot, do you think there's only going to be 2 people? No, he's going to be so. It's so for a show that costs so much money. It felt so cheap, and the graphics. It's just terrible. She-Hulk was better than this. She-Hulk was. I'm so tired of people shitting on She-Hulk. She-Hulk was better than this. The Moon Knight blows us out the water. WandaVision is still the best Disney Plus show. But this is the worst one. I mean, it's just terrible. There's not many aspects of it that are really good. The scrolls, how you do it, the fact that Rhodey has been a scroll since Civil War, and we kind of just throw that in there like it's nothing.
Just something that didn't need to be made.
It did not need to be made, and if it was going to be made, you shouldn't have made it for this much damn money. $212 million for 6 episodes is absolutely atrocious. It's just terrible. It truly is terrible. Do not watch it. It's a dud. You can skip it. And in my opinion, it leads me into my next topic, which is it's just superhero fatigue, and it broke me. So I mean, I'll watch the Marvels in November, but I'm just done keeping up with the superhero stuff. It's not interesting. I know Blue Beetle comes out later on this month. We don't really care, to be honest with you. It's not interesting.
We do not care.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was the last big superhero movie that I really enjoyed, and I don't think there's going to be another superhero movie that's going to be very good. I think we're exhausted of it. Fast X was better than this series. I mean, there's just so many things we've watched that are better than this. Don't waste your time with it. There's some moments in there that are good. There's some good writing moments, some good dialogue, but overall, it just feels like Disney's rushing this out, pushing things forward, and not getting things done. And that's going to lead us to our last big point of what we wanted to address today, and the real reason why we've been back. We've been through a lot, guys. We've been busy, so we haven't been on here as much. We know. The state of media, movies, and writing has been ass, and we know why. It's because of the writers and actors strike now. There hasn't really been that much progress with it up until this point. I know that some of the studios want to talk with I think it's Actors Guild, but the Actors Guild said that they're not going to make a full decision until the Writers Guild is completed too. So they're working hand in hand. They're not going to have one side get their money and then the other one's going to be left behind. I know that when they're on strike, the studios like cut down trees so that they're not in the shade. They kind of border them away. it just looks like the rich just want to keep on getting richer. And don't even get me started on AI. Obviously, the studios are like, hey, we'll just use your AI likeness and fuck you. That's pretty much what they're saying.
Yeah, if anyone has seen The Flash, the baby scene, really, really great
And that's why
CGI.
stuff is bombing and failing nowadays. We know how, you can see how bad it is. And it doesn't look like it's going to get much better. And there's quite a few series and things that are sorry, we're just reading something that are not performing well up to their standards, and we've just seen it more often. So our let's go ahead and let's give some advice. Let's give some movie advice to these guys. Just not movie suggestions.
Stop being so woke.
Stop being so woke in your movies. We do not
care.
We do not care. We don't need every character to be a different sexuality or orientation or
do it
race.
Tastefully. Do it tastefully. Obviously we don't need to see everyone looking the same in any demographic on any television really now.
Unless it's a part of the story.
Exactly. But it's just like, it's just so overdone. It takes all of that stuff. The reason why I personally don't like it is because it takes away from so much of the story.
Correct.
It's just like, oh my gosh, this is just so boring now. This is just so like drawn out. It's like, I don't care about who you're sleeping with. I don't. You guys are teens. I don't care about a kid.
That's another thing. Yes. If you're writing something for teens, the show that we've been watching, which we'll address on the next stream, where they are high schoolers, it's probably some of the best acting we've actually seen high schoolers act because it's real. They're not walking up to each other.
And it's also genuine responses. It's you can tell it's like someone has lived through this and they're like, oh, I'm going to just put it on a screen as opposed to let me make it dramatized and let me make this worse.
Sex.
Yes.
Sex.
Because we're watching a teenage show.
Sex.
With literally one very
Booty,
minor sex scene.
Sex.
Minor.
Touching each other. Drugs. Party. That's what it feels like nowadays when it comes to high schoolers.
And
it's just
sad.
weird. And Euphoria, we see you, Euphoria.
Yes.
We know you. We know that what you wanted to do is experimental, but look at what's going on now. Oh, by the way, rest in peace to Angus, obviously.
Yes.
In my personal opinion, just you really don't need to continue the show. It doesn't need to be continued. Let it be for what it is and let other people enjoy it later on in the future. Don't try to push it, but he's a great actor. I'm not saying the show is terrible. I'm just saying that it went too far in pushing the teenagers have sex and they sell drugs and they do drugs and they party all the time and that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. There are teenagers that want to be great at athletics and great at academics.
With these type of movies, like not movies, but shows like Euphoria, and I'm gonna throw in 13 Reasons Why.
Ooh.
You push so many negative things towards kids to where kids are very naive. So when you're pushing all that, like, oh, you're not doing drugs, you're not having sex, you're not partying all the time, you're lame. Exactly.
That's not the truth,
and
y'all.
That's not good to keep pushing and having that as that's a normal high school.
Because it's not
sex,
real.
drugs, and like being half naked all the time. It's like that's not a norm. Like it's like and then also it's like how do you expect as the writers to bleed into the communities that you're trying to reach teens, I'm assuming. So why are you doing this like exactly. It's like okay, and plus I trust and believe no parents are watching this. Like no,
they're not.
Like you're showing it to kids and it's just like all you're doing is exposing the kids to so many things that they really don't need to yet be exposed to. And it's like also, and if you are going to do that and show these lessons, do it tastefully.
But
do it
Euphoria, just be in college.
Yeah,
because you're too old. The kids look too damn old to be in high school.
Exactly how Sex in the City was. Sex in the City said, what are we doing? We're having sex
in a city. It's in the title, y'all.
You know exactly what the fuck is up, and these are grown ass women doing whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop having stuff like Sex in the City, like people sleeping around with kids. It's weird because it's like kids and sex, that's predator. Like that's not, I don't know what, I don't think about kids and sex. Like I don't. So it's just
Mm-mm.
like, why keep, it's like all you want to do is just keep showing how many tits can we show, how many dicks can we show, how many, sexual scenes can we show, how much sex can we actually
But
show?
they put that in there for attention and for
Because sex
ratings,
sells. Yep.
and it doesn't have to because you guys. I'm sorry, I'm so eager to talk about the show we're watching right now. That's actually really good, but we can't because we got to finish it. Because you know how some shows be. It can be good, and then the ending can be like, what the fuck? But the show we are watching right now, we're gonna give a little bit of a hint for it. An
Shit,
NBA
shit,
play,
shit.
Chad.
Shit. It's like, what, nigga? Like, what?
Let's just say it's a sports show. Let's not even go into the sport it specifically is. We'll have y'all wait until it is because there's
Like
a lot
I
of
said,
sports shows.
shit. That's the biggest hint I
That's
can give
the
you.
biggest one we'll give you. If you know it, you good. But we think that that's been done really well. How the acting has been done, how the characters have been presented. They feel their age. And we're guys, you know us. We're not teenagers. We are closer to
Oh.
we're at the edge of one of those boxes you check when you have to do demographics. We're like that, age demographics. We're closer to the end of it than we are the beginning. We haven't been in high school in a while, but even we know high school nowadays isn't what Euphoria shows.
Exactly.
We do know that high schools probably do have some more vaping, TikToking. We've seen stuff online where y'all teenagers want to be talking shit to the teachers. Y'all want to be fighting more.
Yeah.
But then again, guess what? We were kind of doing that too. Not us specifically, but we were seeing people fight and but not to this degree. More disrespect. We've seen it. But hey, we don't want to sit here and baby y'all. We don't really care. Because we know our demographic. But we know the state of media right now is rough. It's been tough. It's been hard to find really great programs to see. But for the most part, you guys should definitely take your time to look through our suggestions. We do have a couple of ours on a Twitch page, and we'll be posting these things on YouTube as well. We will give you guys only some of the best recommendations and telling you guys the truth about some of your things we've seen, because obviously some people I know close to me, y'all be liking The Bear. Once again, I've been told to watch The Bear season 2. I'm not watching The Bear, y'all. We're not watching it. I'm sorry.
Also, like I said, we're always
It's
open
not our cup of tea, all
We're
right?
always open to recommendations.
We are always open to recommendations.
Because we love, because like obviously y'all just saw all the movies we've seen within the last couple of months. So definitely want to
and ones we haven't
hopefully
finished. Oof,
yeah, hopefully we just
We actually watched the movie last night. She was dying to watch, and we finally
Yes,
did. And
okay. I will go ahead and say it. I was looking for this movie for
she was clamoring for us to watch this one.
2 weeks. I was looking for this movie for 2 weeks.
Almost spent money on this movie. Almost spent $7 to watch this movie
and
on
I
Apple
was
TV.
never going to ever because I just knew, And then plus, also, you have ever seen Shudder movies? You already know what the fuck it is.
Or Quipped movies.
Yeah, Crypt TV.
Quipped TV, yeah.
These movies are just, they're soul based, and if they're, because most of those, they do make horror movies. These movies are so like gory to where it's like, okay, this is just gross. You're not scaring me. This is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was called The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. It was not good.
Oh my god! But it has an 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Exactly, and that's why Rotten Tomatoes you blow me because it's literally just like you guys give such great movies the same ratings as horrendous movies that I can't even finish. So it's like I can't trust you guys' opinion. So I have to either hear it from like other reviewers that maybe I like their same like I like those type of movies. Like I love listening to Trin on
Yeah,
on
shout out
YouTube.
Trin. We do listen to Trin. I don't know her last name, but
T Call Level.
But yeah, we do like seeing Trin on the channel. She's good.
On YouTube. So
on
it's
YouTube.
just it was just not good. I will personally finish it while I'm at work because it's one of those movies where you just have it in front of you while you type
I
in
don't
and
care
stuff.
for it. I checked out about 15 minutes.
It was just boring. It has no type of
slow, very slow.
It's trying to show her emotion for something where we do not care about what she cares about. So, and I don't mean as personally. I mean in the movie, like what she cares about so much in the movie, we do not care. Once again, So it's like I said, rushed. It's weird. It just shows a bunch of gore, and I just feel like it's a waste of time.
Yep.
I will waste more time on it just to finish it, just to see.
She said that. She said she's gonna.
I just want to finish it because I looked for this movie, like I said, for 2 weeks. So I'm going to finish it. I think the girl in it, she's absolutely stunning. I love looking at her. She's so beautiful, and I loved her hair because honestly, I kind of want to get my hair that way, but I don't know yet. But
And
like
her
I
acting
said,
was. It's fine.
it was.
It's
I
fine.
don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, she does well, with the gang stuff and stuff. She does well for like a girl growing up in the project.
It just didn't feel that serious, you guys. It just felt slow.
It just seemed rushed. Like the production seemed rushed, and it seemed like no one really knew their lines, and everyone was just kind of just spewing out whatever they could think of.
Yeah.
So
let me go ahead and say this real quick because I know that there's some movies we've missed. There's some we have to catch up on. Obviously, we did watch Fast X, guys. We watched it on 4th of July. So we'll probably make that a tradition. That's the most American a movie can look. So we'll watch that. We actually, I'm sorry. Shout out to Jason Momoa. He actually made me like the movie a bit. I'm
Jason
sorry.
Did
Jason was, you can tell when an actor is having fun on set. Mm-hmm. That man had so much. He actually made me like the movie. John Cena. Hey. John Cena was really good. John Cena was really good. But we did watch that one. We do still have to watch The Boogeyman. We'll end up watching that one. I have to watch Mission Impossible. I missed out on that. We will be watching The Meg Part 2. Best believe we will. Shout out Jason Statham because I did like the first.
Terrible grade on Rotten
But we don't give a shit, y'all.
But what I just told you about.
We don't give a shit about that one. Past Lives. I know people have been talking about that one because of how sweet of a movie it is. We will get to that one. We're just not kind of in the mood to watch something sad right now. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We'll watch that one from home. Usually that would be something I'd probably force us to go to the movie theater, but we don't want to waste money on kind of seeing that right now. So we'll watch that one from home as well. And I think that's all in terms of movies we need to catch up with. There's nothing really coming soon that we'll be that interested in seeing coming in the future. So don't really expect us to be going crazy over anything. Who knows the next time we'll go to the movies? Honestly, we really don't know because there's nothing coming out soon that's going to make us go, we want to see it. But like I said, we'll take your suggestions, and I think that's all we got for today.
Yep, and happy birthday, Mom. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, happy birthday to her mother. It's tomorrow. If it's anybody's birthday today, happy birthday to you. So, but yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you guys another time.